For over 1,200 years, a secret manuscript remained hidden from the world, a guide to what happens after we die. What you're about to hear may challenge everything you thought you knew about death and the soul's journey. This is the story of the Forbidden Manuscript. Everything you've been told about death is wrong. For centuries, death has been portrayed as a mysterious end, something unknowable, feared, and left to faith or speculation. But what if everything you've been told about it is completely wrong? According to an ancient and once forbidden manuscript, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, death is not the end. It's not a void. It's not even the beginning of something new. It is a transition, an intense, conscious process that unfolds in stages, especially during the first 49 days after physical death. This sacred text, hidden for over 1,000 years, was reserved only for the most enlightened minds, those capable of facing the truth without fear. It outlines a spiritual map that guides the soul through a post-death journey. The moment you take your last breath, you're not gone. Instead, you enter what the Tibetans call the bardo, an intermediate state where your consciousness continues, untethered from your physical form. In this state, your awareness doesn't stop. In fact, it becomes sharper. But here's the catch. Most people fail to navigate it successfully, not because they're weak, but because they're unaware. They don't recognize that what they see, feel, and hear is a projection of their own mind. By the time realization dawns, it's often too late. This manuscript claims that the moments right after death may be more important than the entire life you just lived. And that's where the true journey begins. Your thoughts shape your afterlife. What if the world you enter after death isn't some fixed heaven or hell, but a vivid projection of your own mind? According to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, your thoughts don't just influence your life. They create the reality you'll face after you die. In the bardo state, which lasts up to 49 days after death, everything you encounter, light, sound, beings, even terrifying visions, are manifestations of your own consciousness. Think about it. The fears you suppress, the guilt you carry, the love you nurture, all of it comes rushing forward in a raw, amplified form. If you lived in anger or regret, that energy may appear as frightening deities or dark landscapes. But if your mind was filled with compassion and clarity, the same visions become guides, doors to liberation. In this state, there is no separation between you and what you experience. You are not an observer, you are the creator. Every thought becomes form, every emotion a world. The Tibetan masters believed that realizing this truth in life prepares you for freedom in death. So, the afterlife isn't about judgment from some external force. It's a mirror, a stage, and your mind is the director. The more conscious you are now, the more power you'll have to navigate what comes next. Death doesn't create your destiny, your thoughts do. Karma doesn't miss, it waits. You might think you've gotten away with something. Maybe no one saw it. Maybe years have passed, and life seems to have moved on. But karma doesn't forget. It doesn't rush. It waits for the perfect moment. Karma isn't about punishment. It's not a divine scorekeeper looking to bring you down. It's a mirror, quietly reflecting the energy you put into the world. What you give, through your words, your actions, your intentions, creates ripples. And those ripples always return, though not always in the way or time you expect. Sometimes karma comes disguised as a random loss, a missed opportunity, or a person who treats you exactly how you once treated someone else. Other times, it brings unexpected kindness, support, or luck you didn't ask for, but fully deserve. The laws of karma don't operate on your schedule. They operate on truth. And the deeper the lesson, the longer it may take to unfold. You may not recognize the connection until you're forced to feel exactly what you once made someone else feel. So, don't be fooled by silence or time. Karma doesn't forget. It simply waits for when you're ready to understand, to grow, or to repay what's been taken or given. The energy you send out is never lost. It's just finding its way back to you. You reap what you sow, even in silence. There are moments in life when it feels like we're planting seeds in vain, giving, loving, helping, without any recognition or reward. But the universe is always listening, even when the world is silent. Every kind gesture, every sacrifice, Every act of love you offer from the heart is a seed. It might not sprout overnight. It might not even bloom in the same place you planted it. But it grows in ways you cannot yet see. The truth is, we don't always reap where we sow. Sometimes the blessings come from unexpected people in unexpected moments and in unexpected ways. That's how the universe works. Quietly, mysteriously, fairly. If you ever feel like your kindness is being overlooked or your efforts are going unnoticed, remember, energy never disappears. It transforms and returns. You may not be praised, thanked, or acknowledged in the way you hoped, but life has a beautiful way of circling back what you put out. One day, when you least expect it, you'll be shown that your silent seeds were never forgotten. You'll be loved the way you once loved others, helped the way you helped, protected the way you protected. So, keep sowing goodness, even when no one's watching. The harvest always comes. It just takes patience, faith, and a quiet heart. A gentle heart is never a weak one. In a world that often celebrates strength through toughness, many mistake gentleness for weakness. But the truth is, it takes a deeply strong soul to remain kind, soft, and open-hearted in the face of cruelty, betrayal, and hardship. A gentle heart chooses to respond with compassion instead of bitterness. It chooses to listen when others shout, to forgive when others hold grudges, and to stay open when life gives it every reason to shut down. That's not weakness, that's inner strength in its purest form. Don't let the world harden you. Yes, you've been hurt. You've been disappointed, maybe even broken. But don't let those experiences steal your light. You are not naive for believing in the good. You are brave for continuing to be good. Kindness doesn't mean allowing others to walk over you. It means choosing peace over pride, grace over revenge, and healing over hurting back. That kind of strength can't be faked. It's built through pain, through patience, and through a deep love for life and others. So if your heart is gentle, protect it, but don't hide it. Let it shine in a world that desperately needs it. Your softness is your power. Your kindness is your quiet rebellion. And your light, no matter how small, makes a difference. Stay soft. Stay strong. Stay you. You deserve peace, not just survival. Sometimes we get so used to stress, chaos, and emotional survival that we forget what peace even feels like. We normalize the storm. We convince ourselves that this is just life, that constant tension, overthinking, and emotional exhaustion are things we must accept. But you were never meant to just survive. You were meant to live fully, breathe deeply, and rest without guilt. Peace is not a luxury. It's a basic human need. You deserve to feel safe in your own mind. You deserve to feel calm in your own heart. You don't have to prove your worth through suffering. You don't have to keep reliving past pain or staying in situations that drain your soul. Healing isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's also about choosing what brings you peace and letting go of what doesn't. You have the right to walk away from anything that robs you of your inner calm. That includes toxic relationships, overwhelming commitments, and self-critical thoughts. Protecting your peace is an act of self-respect, not selfishness. So take a deep breath. Give yourself permission to rest, to pause, to protect your space. Your peace matters more than perfection, more than productivity, more than approval. You deserve a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks okay on the outside. Choose peace every time. Healing is not linear, it's a spiral. Healing doesn't move in a straight line. It's not a checklist you complete or a timeline you follow. It's messy, non-linear, and often confusing. One day you feel light, like you've finally let go. The next, an old memory resurfaces, and the pain feels fresh again. This doesn't mean you're back at the beginning. It means you're spiraling deeper into understanding, into truth. Each time a wound reopens, it's not a failure. It's another layer revealing itself for healing. You are not broken for feeling sadness again. You're human. Sometimes the most painful days come just before a breakthrough. Sometimes the emotions you buried long ago rise up, not to hurt you, but to free you. Give yourself grace for the days when you feel like you're moving backward. Trust that even in those moments, growth is happening. You're learning to sit with discomfort, to breathe through the ache, to speak kindly to yourself even when your mind is loud with doubt. Healing is not about erasing your pain. It's about learning to live with it without letting it control you. You become stronger, softer, wiser. Not because you avoided the hard days, but because you kept going through them. So take your time. There's no rush. You're not late. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be, and you're doing better than you think. The people who hurt you the most are often the ones carrying the deepest wounds. Sometimes, the ones who hurt us the most are the ones who are hurting deeply themselves. Their pain doesn't excuse their actions, but understanding this truth can help us release the burden of anger we carry. It's easy to take things personally, to believe their harsh words or cold behavior are a reflection of our worth. But often, it has nothing to do with us. It's their own unresolved pain, fear, and trauma spilling over. That parent who was emotionally distant, maybe they never learned how to give love because they never received it. That friend who betrayed you, maybe they've never felt safe enough to trust anyone fully, not even themselves. The partner who walked away without explanation, maybe they were running from parts of themselves they weren't ready to face. This doesn't mean you have to accept poor treatment. Boundaries are essential. But when you start to see pain behind the behavior, something shifts. You begin to loosen your grip on resentment. You stop defining yourself through their inability to love properly. And most importantly, you begin to heal, not because they changed, apologized, or understood, but because you chose peace over bitterness. You chose freedom over attachment. You chose to love yourself enough to not let someone else's unhealed pain keep wounding you. Healing doesn't always come from getting closure. Sometimes it comes from creating it yourself. There are no coincidences, only divine alignments. Have you ever crossed paths with someone at the exact moment you needed support or heard a message that felt like it was meant just for you? That's not coincidence. It's divine alignment. Life is constantly guiding us, speaking in symbols, signs, and synchronicities. Every person you meet, every delay, every unexpected detour, it's all part of a greater design. Sometimes the universe speaks softly, through intuition or gut feelings. Other times, it speaks louder, through repeating numbers, overheard conversations, dreams, or even challenges that push you to grow. The truth is, nothing happens randomly. You are being led toward the lessons your soul needs, the healing your heart longs for, and the path you are meant to walk. The right people will come when you're ready. The doors will open when the timing aligns. And even closed doors are blessings in disguise, redirecting you toward something better. So trust the process. Pay attention to what keeps showing up in your life. Trust that every moment, whether joyful or painful, is infused with purpose. You're not lost. You're not behind. You are exactly where you need to be, even if you can't see the full picture yet. Keep going. The universe isn't working against you. It's working with you, always guiding you back to yourself. You are the energy you attract. Everything is energy. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions send out vibrations into the universe, shaping the reality you experience. If you constantly focus on fear, lack, or anger, you'll likely find yourself surrounded by more of the same. But if you choose to cultivate peace, gratitude, and love, life begins to respond in kind. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. The energy you carry speaks louder than your words. It shows up in the way you treat others, in the way you talk to yourself, and in the choices you make every day. So if you're wondering why certain patterns keep repeating in your life, take a moment to look within. What energy are you radiating? Are you holding on to resentment, or are you allowing forgiveness? Are you acting from a place of scarcity or abundance? Change doesn't start from the outside, it begins inside. When you shift your inner world, your outer world naturally follows. Start small. Speak kindly to yourself. Surround yourself with positive influences, and practice being the kind of energy you wish to attract. Remember, you are always co-creating your life with the universe. Choose to be the energy of love, hope, and resilience, and watch how everything around you begins to shift in beautiful ways.